Okay, like Alan said, I am Osman Mahamed, and I like to give respect where respect is due. So before I start with my piece, let's give it up for the people who went before me. So, I am Osman Mohammed for the third time, and I am a kid who was born in a refugee camp in Kakuma. Anybody know where that's at? No, there's never nobody ever know where it's at. It's like that one white girl in the back, like I've been to South Africa a couple of times. Way different places. Totally different places. But yeah, I'm from Kakuma. It's a small refugee camp. I don't even know where it's at myself. And I want to say northern Kenya, like upper side of Kenya. So I know we all hear about Africa, the poverty, the diseases, the this, the that. We need help. Send your change. You can feed this hungry kid. I don't need no feeding, as you can see. I'm pretty good. But yeah, we know how it's at. But I just kind of give it to you guys through the eyes of a refugee, an actual refugee. So I lived in Africa for about 5 years. I don't remember a lot of things about it, but I remember a couple of things. One fond memory that I have is sleeping in what we call, well, I guess the word for it in English is a hut, I guess you could call it. Remember sleeping on the floor next to a window? You look out a window? Yeah. You look in the window. At the time, my three siblings were laid side like sardines, like sides by side by me, like right next to me type thing. My parents like a little bit on an elevated thing. It was like a bed, but it was kind of made out of hay type, a little bit elevated. And I remember staying up that night just thinking, God damn, I hope those Turkanas don't come. They're these people who dance outside your house saying these weirdest sayings ever. It's like they have it's like typical African stuff you see. Like they have the little spear, the little necklace that I have on here, the little thing covering the little private part, and just kind of go around your house and they do not let you sleep. And it's like, if they're nice about it, they'll leave you alone. If they're not, they decide to attack you. So it's like you never know what kind of you're working with. So I'm like, God damn, what am I working with today, right? That's one fond memory. Another one I remember is I'm not too fond of the whole educational system. Not just America's, Africa's also. I don't discriminate. I don't like any type of learning. But anyways, I remember me and my best friend, we had to go to a thing called madrasa. It's like school, but for Arabic learning and like Quranic learning. Learn like we learn about Arabic, the Quran, all that stuff. So, like I said, I'm not too fond on like learning and all that. On education, I love learning, but education is just not my thing. So I remember wearing a big orange shirt about the length of this. I was a lot shorter, but about this length, pretty long. You couldn't see my shorts and having a hole about like right here. Like I'm like I don't know how I got that hole, but it was like right here ish. And I remember escaping from my madrasa and just running with my best friend and just running and running and running and running. I felt free. I felt like I was like there was no pressure on me to go to college, to be this, to be that. I just felt like I was living. But the day came where I was blessed. It's definitely a blessing. I don't take this blessing for granted. But the day came where we had to pack our bags and come to America. We're the lucky few who, through the refugee system, it's a long system that you have to go through, applying for this, applying for that. We're the lucky few out of thousands of people who applied and got into America. September 14th, 2000, and I want to say 5? It's definitely September 14th, though, 2005. So I went from living in Kakuma to going to Salt Lake City, Utah. Now, if you don't get that reference, it's like going from Obama to Trump. Totally different things. It's like, there's no similarities into this. It's like totally different things, right? So, like I said, for me, yes, Africa was hard. Like, not every part of Africa is what you see on TV. There's some, just like in America, they have the hotels, the running water, the toilets, the kitchens. There's stuff like that in Africa. But unfortunately for me, and I say fortunately because I believe my struggles made me who I am today, I didn't grow up from those parts. I grew up from what you see in TV, the poverty, the diseases, and all that stuff. But I loved it. Like I said, I felt free. So I wasn't too happy about coming to America. I was like, how dare you try to make my life better? Who asked you to bring me to this country? Who said I wanted all these opportunities? How dare you, right? So I'm like, have this grudge against my parents. The grudge stays and stays. But we had bigger problems because even forgetting the problems inside the house, like I said, I don't know if you can see me up here. I'm pretty dark-skinned. And I was in Salt Lake City, Utah. So, and we're Muslims, so my sisters wear the traditional hijab and all that stuff. So, we get stares when we're walking to the store, going to school, trying to go to parties. We get the stares, the stereotypes. I don't know English. I can't hear what they're saying. But when you see that eye, you just know. You just know that the eye you give when somebody doesn't like you, We got that all the time. So it's like, no, we have to leave. Like we came to America to better ourselves, to get away from this kind of stuff. So we packed our bags and went to Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas. And in Vegas, I found my peace, but at the same time, I found my destruction. Like I found my chaos, and I found like just all this kind of wild stuff. But I loved Vegas. Vegas helped me find who I am. I got because I'm not like most Africans. I'm very even from Africans. I'm weird. Like to Africans, I'm weird to you guys. I'm weird to Africans too. Okay, so I don't play soccer. I am trash at soccer. Um, I don't play soccer. I don't like the way. Okay, I'll move on. I'm just not like normal Africans. I'll just say that much. So there was a lot of beef within my house with me and my parents, me and my siblings. So I had to find love outside of the house. So I hanged around people who most people would deem as bad influences, as people your kids shouldn't be hanging around with. You know those kind of kids, those kind of people. That's who I found my peace with. And yes, they did all those things. And see, I've always been a leader. Like, I've been a leader since day one. I believe that's deep into my heart. So, yes, they were doing their drugs. Yes, they're doing their activities. But I never, to this day, I haven't drank or smoked a single thing in my life. Because, because I just know who I am, I'm at peace with myself. But like I said, to the outside world, these people I was hanging around with were no good for me. So it caused a rift between me and my family. So I decided that when college came and I got the chance, I'm gonna do something different because if you want different results from your family, from your parents, you gotta do different stuff. You feel me? You gotta do different things. That's why I talk the way I talk. I hang around black people a lot. But anyway, you gotta do different things. So I decided that when time comes, I'm gonna get up. I'm gonna leave. I don't know where I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna leave. Like I'm gonna go somewhere else for college. So I didn't start taking school seriously until like my 11th grade year because I'm like, oh shit, school's almost over. Like, no more free reduced lunch. Like somebody, I gotta get food somewhere. Like, what am I gonna do? So I decided, you know what? I guess I gotta take the school thing a little bit more seriously. So I got involved in a program in my neighborhood that I love so dearly, and I always give back to when I make it, called NYN. Amazing program, by the way. And NYN connected me to Miss Moscow, who's the love lady who inspires all us kids up here today with LIT. And I did that. I did NYN, LIT, and I became student body president of my school. What? Right, like who let this kid run the school, right? Look, who let this kid run the school? But I did it. Somehow I did. I became student body president of my school. So I got accepted to 5 different colleges. Five different colleges. Can you imagine if I took school seriously from grade 6? What? Can you imagine where I'd have been? But anyways, so I got into UNR, but like I said, me and my dad had this kind of beef. Like he was like a more of a traditional African parent, very strict. When he had his plan, I was gonna be a mechanic. My brother's an engineer. My sister a doctor. So when he gets sick, he has a doctor. The car breaks down, he has a mechanic. This happens, he has this. Like there's 8 of us. So he had like careers for every single one of us. So this man was a genius. He's like, you know what? I have a kid who's a doctor. I have a kid who's an engineer, an electrician. I don't got to pay for nothing. So he had this planned out. There's like at least a good 8, 9 of us kids, all right? And we all had careers picked out for us from the get-go. But anyways, so I had to let my dad know that I wasn't going to be here anymore. I'm going to UNR for college. So I had this plan. I said in my senior video, because I was going to tell my dad to my face because, I don't like being, I like being safe. So, I ain't going to tell him to his face. So anyway, so I was like, you know what, my senior video, I'm going to let him know then. I'm going to like, just do it then because he's going to come to my graduation to see it. So I do it, right? I do my whole, oh, by the way, Dad, I'm going to UNR, ha, 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 ha thing. So fast forward to my graduation, he doesn't show up. So it's like, whoa, thanks a lot, Dad. Now I have to tell you to your face that I'm not going to be here. That's going to be a fun conversation, right? But anyway, so I never, get the guts to tell him. So he doesn't find out from me. He finds out from my siblings and my mom and all these people who talk about, the family members who just can't keep their mouth shut. He found out from them, and ever since then, it's been a kind of rift between me and him, a bigger rift. And it's like through the eyes of a refugee, I'm like, I'm trying to do something better for our family. Like, I'm trying to go out and do something different. I can't just graduate high school, get married, and then live here, and then hope, pray, be on food stamps, because that's what they're on now. And no beef to my parents. I love my parents to death. I understand that what they have to go through just to be here, so I definitely do love them. But I want better for myself, and I know even though it doesn't look right to them at the moment, that I know what I'm doing now is far beyond what I can see. It's like it's in God's hand type stuff. You feel me? So I get up and I, with Michael, Connor, Abraham, Officer Dave, we make our way to UNR. And I'm for the first time I am by myself. I'm in a place where nobody speaks my language. Nobody's as dark as me. Very few people are as dark as me in Reno. So I'm like, oh, like this is it. Like I have nobody out here with me. It's only me. So remember the first time I was there, I got a call from my little sisters, and they're like bawling their eyes out, like legit, like oh, because when I left, they were at school. So by the time they came back from school, I was already gone. Like I was already like in Reno, crying their eyes out. Oh, we miss you, this and this. I'm like, oh, you should have told me that to my face instead of like that'd have been nice. That'd have been nice to know this whole 18 years. But anyways. So I get a call from them, and I'm like, I turned to Officer Dave. I'm like, did I make the right choice? Like, what I did selfish? Like, was I wrong for getting up and leaving my family? Like, am I like in the wrong for what I'm doing here? He tells me, he's like, no, like they don't see it now, but they will always see in the future that what you're doing is helping them in the long run. So anyways, back to the point. So through my first year of college, it was definitely not easy for me because I kind of got through school with not with what I knew, but with who I knew. You see, connectivity, Miss Mosca. It was who I knew who got me through school. So I struggled a lot, and I wasn't financially stable going to college because I had to pay for, I had scholarships and stuff of that nature, but I still wasn't too financially stable. So when winter break ran around, I was homeless for 3 days. And even, they don't even know about this. Miss Mosca doesn't know, Mike doesn't know, nobody knows this. I was homeless for 3 days. And I'm like, I only went through this for 3 days. There's people who live through this every day in, day out. Like I was homeless for 3 days, sleeping outside, and I feel like it was like the end of the world. I'm like, oh my God, like it's cold, I'm hungry, like what am I gonna do? I was just stressing. And I was like, I'm gonna thug it out. I'm like, I'm gonna thug it. I could handle it. But sooner or later, a friend of mine noticed. Cause I go to a gym a lot. You can't tell, but I go to a gym. And he's like, bro, you're moving kind of sluggish. You're not running the way you're running. What's up? I'm like, so I opened up for the first time. I'm like, oh, I am homeless. I don't have nowhere to go until X, Y, and Z until like I could get a plane ride back to Vegas. So he's like, oh, don't worry about it. I got you. And he gets me a hotel. So for the time being, I stay in a hotel. And I live out my rest of my semesters pretty good. I do pretty good. First year, 3 points. First semester, 3.1, I want to say. Don't clap yet. Second year, 2.6, so I kind of let myself down. But whatever. But the point is, I kind of lost what I was saying here. But the point is, none of this is possible without LIT, NYN, without like programs like these. We need these programs for kids like us who feel left out, who feel like we're not being heard, who feel like our stories are not being told enough. Because yes, what we have is hard, and what we've been through is hard, but our success is going to be so much more greater because of that. I feel like the more you go through, the more you suffer. It's not an excuse for you. It's not an excuse for you to do all these crazy things. That's not an excuse. If anything, it's a motivation. God is making you struggle so he could use you as a vessel to be like, if that kid could make it, anybody could make it. If I could make it, there's no reason why nobody's kid in this audience can't make it. If those kids back there could make it, anybody could make it. So use our stories today as motivation, as inspiration to just put, even at the age of you guys are, I see a couple of young faces, a couple not so young faces, but use that motivation to push yourself. Like Mike's mom, Miss Gloria, she just graduated from her school. It's crazy, right? So it's never too late, people. It's never too late. So use this time, use our voices, use our stories as a motivation to go out there and do good in this world. It is hard. It is not easy, but if kids from MIT could do it, anybody could do it. I will drop them out, but it's not my mic. So I'm not going to drop it, but Osman is out. Yeah,